Hi, I'm Peter Haddock and I'm here at Highways UK with Dr Joanna, the Roads Development Director for National Highways. Joanna, so much has been going on at the event here. You've been speaking as well, and there's a lot of feedback that's coming through all the presentations. One of the things I wanted to chat with you on is the Roads Research Alliance. A really, really important thing we've talked about before. It's a year since we've talked about it. What's been happening, and tell us all about it.
So it's been really exciting this last year with the Roads Research Alliance, focusing very much on our research programmes around digital roads, sustainability, smarter materials, and really spending time building the research fellows that are part of and doing that sort of core part of the research. The other aspect we've been doing is coalescing both ourselves as National Highways, the supply chain members of the Alliance, and sort of building those relationships across the Alliance with Cambridge University and all the academics as well.
So it's really putting it together to actually make it work as an alliance, and you know, for people to share their ideas and experiences, you know, with the Cambridge University peers as well. And so what's really exciting about that is things are already happening, folks. There've been a lot of work's been going on behind the scenes, hasn't it? And we talked earlier, and I said, come on, what's been happening, John? Give me something new and exciting to talk about.
Yeah, so what I'm really excited about is we have, with some of the Alliance members, we have installed a 3D printed head wall down at on our A30 project down at Carlin to Chiverton Cross, and it's a trial of a new way of creating this structure. So it's 3D printed. It's a structure which doesn't involve any steel work like we would do normally, and as part of the printing we've installed lots of sensors in there, and the idea is we can measure how the structure will change over time. We're going to use a whole year's worth to go through all the seasons, feed that back to the students at Cambridge University. They can analyse that data and then they can tell us how that structure is performing.
Wow, you know, what do I like about this, folks? One, 3D printing, take away the steel. You know, one, you're taking away environmental impact there. 3D printing, not got any joins as such and joints in a structure. But the critical thing for me is what you said, you're embedding the sensors within the 3D printing. So again, you're not drilling holes or anything like that to put sensors in, and therefore it's a whole almost living thing that's going to talk to us and say, how am I feeling in the hot, how am I feeling in the cold, and how am I feeling when I'm all iced up as such. And so structurally you'll be able to understand how the materials you've used work. Now that's going to be really exciting in lots of different ways.
Absolutely, and I think it is that key thing about learning from this. So we put it in a low risk environment. We can, you know, do that data analysis, feed back the results, create that sort of lessons learned, and then we can decide, is that something that does it work, which bits of it work well, where can we make improvements, and how we then share that information across the Alliance members and beyond, outside of Highways as well.
Yeah, and this is really important. I've talked to a lot of people at Highways UK, and this sharing beyond is something, you know, with local authorities, but also with colleagues in sort of HS2 and other big projects in the nuclear sector, because when we're talking about all of this research, it's not keeping it to ourselves.
Absolutely not. The value of our research and innovation is improved by sharing that knowledge and that lessons learned. And you know, the more we can talk and share those sort of experiences, then actually the more streamlined we can be in how we do things, and we can just be a lot more efficient in terms of delivery as well.
Yeah, what's interesting about the whole 3D printing piece is that we can utilise new materials. So new material mixes, you know, as we're doing in testing for like asphalt, and how we can use much more carbon efficient materials. So, you know, can we use materials that we're recycling in that process, and how they're performing in the different environments. And I think, you know, it brought us back to when we're talking about sensors before, and when we're talking about how you measure things. And it's the sort of microscopic movements that are really important, because they give you the trending data to say, here's our maintenance cycle, because we know how, because everything needs to be maintained after all. You know?
Yeah, absolutely, and it helping us understand that whole life cycle of that particular bit of structure, and then how it informs our investment decision making and where we focus our attention. You know, and just reflecting on the fact that, you know, all this work we're doing with low carbon materials and recycling. So some of our concrete roads programme, we're looking at how can we recycle existing concrete off our roads back into our roads. It's really important because we are continuing our journey to net zero. You know, we've set ourselves some really important targets around that net zero zero plan, and all of this will help feed and sort of help us deliver those targets.
Yeah, and I think when you're also allowing us to step outside with the Research Alliance into academia, into people thinking outside the box, that they're not that we've always done it this way kind of approach, and it's like giving those challenges to people that are thinking in a different way and are working in different industries is also important, isn't it? Because that translates into, here's some ideas, then it works through the practicals, and of course we've got to end up with a safe solution, a viable solution at the end, haven't we?
Exactly, and I think for me there's this bit about working with other industries. So one, it's good not to be constrained by how we've always done things.
Yep.
The key thing is knowing what is the problem statement and making sure we're all sort of focused on that, but also by working with other infrastructure organisations, you can realise that a problem that we have, they may have already been looking at for some time. So for example, tunnel inspections, Network Rail have done some really good stuff in this space. So we take that and we could trial it in our own tunnels and then learn from it, rather than starting from, you know, the original problem statement. We can save money and focus it on the sort of bits that matter to us right now.
So, you know, the Roads Research Alliance also has, you know, lots of people from different parts of the industry in it. And I think, you know, for me, what's interesting is to see, you know, something coming out of like the 3D, but also there's more to come as well, isn't there? Tell us, give us some snippets, Joanna.
Well, so we've got lots of work going on in sort of the digital twin space, in the sort of, you know, smart materials. There's a great PhD research about how to use bacteria to sort of self-heal materials and roads, yes.
Oh, wow.
So early days on it, but really excited to see what comes out of that. So, and I have set all the Alliance members a bit of a challenge. So every September we have an event. We sort of presented stuff on the 3D printed head wall this year. Next year I've said I want to be inundated with examples of, here's some, like a project or a scheme, and here's how we can trial some of these things that are coming out of Cambridge and the researchers there, and actually start to sort of be able to see and touch things and really get that feeling for the value of the research that's going on.
And I think that's really interesting, because when you say research to somebody like myself, I think, well, you know, they're just researching, nothing's ever going to come out of it. They're going to go and put this white paper out, and, you know, it's all going to be, but this is practical. And I love the way you say, oh, and by the way, they've got a challenge, you know, because, and I like the thing about good bacteria. We've had it sold to us as human beings. Let's have good bacteria for roads, for structures that go, oh, I'm going to get rid of that problem there. And that says how we can live and breathe the new materials, a life and an extra life cycle into the project.
Absolutely, and also being, you know, kind of ideas from other industries, so not just the transport industry, but from health and the life sciences. You know, how can we adopt things that they've been looking at there, and this is where this bacteria idea sort of comes from.
Wow, so folks, it's been a year on. Joanna and the team are doing some incredible work. You can keep up with what they're doing on the website as well. But what I'm really, really excited about is coming and seeing, one, the 3D printedness and understanding what the sensors are telling us. But also, in the future, folks, believe me, I want to see some good bacteria for our industry. And I never thought I'd be saying that. Highways UK. Joanna, great to see you yet again.
Pleasure.
Cheers.
Thank you.